No
chat.
problem.
Hey, board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back with episode number 50 of Gumbo Live. They said we couldn't get past 5, and we're at 50 now. Gumbo Live is the #1 Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time Facebook Live talk show dedicated to board gaming. We have to do all that for legal purposes there, TC. Our special guest tonight, TC Petty, Puppy Shogun himself, game designer of Viva Java, Xenon Profiteer, and a host of other games, and also one of the voices from the State of Games podcast. Gumbo Live is a proud member of Punchboard Media. Punchboard Media, we've got other fine members like Low Player Count. It's a discussion-based board game podcast from the Dallas area featuring bi-monthly episodes that take a deep dive into board game topics with a focus on solitaire and two-player games. Travis and Donnie do a fantastic job of covering the solo game and the two-player gaming space, so check them out. Punchboard Media, where we all bring something to the table. Hey, hit me and TC up tonight on Twitter at Board Game Gumbo, and we'll be looking for your questions on the chat. But enough blather. Let's get right to our guest, TC Petty. Welcome to the show.
Hello. How's it going?
So
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks. I'm so excited to have you on, man. Give us the elevator pitch. I know you know that from all the board games that you're always pitching to publishers and the develop work that you do. Who is TC Petty III?
Well, be really short. I am a game designer and developer. I have done, I guess, 4 games are out now. I've got another 4 in the works, and I do game development for Renegade Games. I do my own games, so game design. You said Viva Java earlier, so Viva Java the coffee game, Viva Java the coffee game, the dice game, Xenon Profiteer, Inspires. I'm a huge fan of positive player interaction, and for some reason, I make a lot of board games. So,
yeah, if anybody hasn't read it yet, you've got a 2-part. At least I can't find the promised 3rd part.
Probably not ever, but we'll see.
A 2-part excellent series on positive player interaction. That's something near and dear to my heart. I always talk about something that Jamie Stegmaier wrote a long time ago. Maybe it was based on something that you had wrote. But one of the things that he loved about Scythe and that attracts me to Scythe is the fact that whenever you do stuff, it can also benefit other players, and it also benefits you sometimes when you get those double actions and that positive energy that flows when that happens. And you love that, right, TC?
Oh, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Is like, I think our first inclination, especially when you play like any classic game, is to just hurt other people, right? Just take whatever you want from them. But I really like systems where you're interconnected. Like I have, even if I'm not doing something positive on purpose for you, like we're somewhat connected. Like I need this thing, and you have a little bit of an investment in it, so I'm gonna have to help you by doing whatever I need to do. And well, look, as opposed to punching people in the face, right?
You're gonna recognize this right away. I had to do a game this summer, a little review of it, and right off the bat, one of the first cards I pulled. We haven't even done anything in the game yet. Was something bad to one of the players, and I've got 3 other players at the table. No one's in the lead. No one's doing anything to me yet, and I've already got to play a bad card, to affect them. Well, what do? Just flip a coin, roll a dice? I mean, there's no agency there, TC.
I know. Well, see, I mean, that's the big thing. It's like the very beginning of any game that has like take that or decisions where you're just gonna. I don't know. But it's the opposite way too. Helping is the same thing. It's like, who do I help? Who do I hurt? I don't know. It's early, well, so I'm not a big fan of that. I like building to that. If I'm going to be mean, I'd better be mean for a reason too.
Hey, there's Steve O'Rourke, the name father from the Dukes of Dice, who helps me out with all of the shows. He's one of the producers here. Hello, TC and BJ. Welcome to it's the all initials edition of Board Game Gumbo. I didn't even notice that, Steve. He's right. So tonight you are Steve. You are SOR. How's that, Steve? So SOR, TC, and BJ. That's right. So TC, tell me, man, you went to Gen Con 2018 this year. I didn't see you, but I'm assuming you went.
Yeah, I was there. Where were you hanging out? Just anywhere? Because I guess we could have easily not seen each other.
I was actually at the Gray Fox Games booth every day, all day. But you know who I ran into? The designer of one of my favorite games, Asking for Troubles, Chris Strain. And Chris Strain is checking in and just saying, hi, guys. What's up? I ran into him in the hallway. He's been on the show before. We've talked a million times on social media. And then I'm walking to the Gray Fox booth and I run into Chris Strain. So
yeah, positive interaction. Hey, bumping people off of worker placement spots.
So I did go by the Greater Than Games big area just to visit with Chris Kirkman. Were you in that area, in that big room, or were you somewhere else?
No, I was all around, right? Like, so, I mean, Gen Con for me is just work. At this point, I mean, and I'm not, and that's not like demoing or doing any of like work for a specific publisher in general, but I had meetings for like development. I had my own games that I needed to get meetings done and get them in front of publishers and everything. And it was really like, it was super productive, but it's like super productive every year. It sucks that I don't get a chance to play a gazillion games, right? I'm not there for the fun of it. I'm there for the get stuff done.
So TC Petty, the gamer, and TC Petty, the worker. What's your favorite cons for both of those TC Petties? I realize they're the same person, by the way.
Yeah. Well, TC the worker. TC the worker likes. Well, but I hate Gen Con. I hate Gen Con as much as I love it because it does get a lot of work done. And this year has been the first year where Gen Con was like, yeah, I need to be there, and I need to be there every year. Good. It was so much easier because I had things ready. I was able to show it to the people I needed to show it to. And I got, the handshakes and signatures that I needed to get, right, for all these new games.
Sure.
And that's what I want from Gen Con. Like, it's such a blitz. It's such a huge thing. And I love the spectacle, but not as a gamer. Not at all, right? I don't get to play anything. So, but I would say
the gamer. What's your favorite con?
Oh, man. Wow.
You should say the Southern Board Game Fest, but of course you've never been to our con.
I've never been to it, but obviously it's going to be a new classic. I love every year we go to this little one called PresCon, and we sort of had it used to be like the unofficial like Dice Hate Me Games meetup. Right. And that it has a soft spot in my heart because we played so many games during that weekend. So as a gamer, I just love the smaller convention where I know a bunch of people and we all come together and do stuff. But literally, if someone wanted to do the exact same convention at the exact same time in their backyard, I would, well, okay, maybe not in their backyard in February, but in their house, I would still be down. It's like, I love just having an opportunity to just sit down with like 20 other people I know and just play any game that I want. Origins used to be my favorite, but just because of that. But I think in recent years, no, not as much, but I still love the food. So
you give a thumbs up to PresCon?
Yes, I give a thumbs up to PresCon. And I don't know if it's just because I don't think it's because of PresCon specifically. I think it's just because it's a good meeting place for everybody on like the East Coast and South. You can kind of come up 3 hours. I can go down 3 hours. It's good.
Where is it? It's
it's in Virginia. It's God, I'm blanking on the town.
Is it open invitation or is it a closed con?
It's open. Anybody can go. Yeah.
Well, I've got two nephews that are in the military that are stationed right there in Virginia, so I got to get them. And they're big gamers. In fact, their names are gamers, but they're also gamers. Kind of confusing. Facebook didn't like it. They made them change their name because they thought it was some kind of fake name. But I'll tell them, PresCon, if you give them thumbs up, they're gonna like going there.
Yeah, I mean the airport's right down there from there, and I don't know why I'm like not able to. I can't regurgitate what town it's in. But
there's the name, Father. He says
Charlottesville. There we go. God.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
He's always right. The name Father is always right. So TC, man, when I was a little kid and just starting to play D&D back in the the 70s and 80s, we used to get Dragon magazine. And we'd read about this spectacle called Gen Con in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, that Gary Gygax put on. And I can remember for 20 years, always wanted to go to this Gen Con thing. When I finally went 4 years ago, I guess now, 3 or 4 years ago, I remember feeling happy that I finally made it, but overwhelmed that it, at least to me, in that first year, it was so focused on the shopping and not on the playing. Now that I've been a couple of years, I'm starting to discover that you can play there. You just have to have your groups and your meetups, but there's so much work to do when you're there.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous. I mean, But like you said, it's sort of that mystical thing. It really is the spectacle, and now it's the spectacle in North America for board games because it's just overwhelmingly larger than anything else. What I mean, maybe PAX Unplugged eventually would be something.
Eventually, maybe.
Yeah,
and I think they're good stuff. My two nephews went to PAX Unplugged because that was fairly close to Virginia, and they said, from the South, it blows my mind, but apparently all these little states up in the Northeast are all right next to each other, which, for me, the thought of going from Virginia all the way to Pennsylvania or to New York or to Maine, that sounds like 6 days of travel, but apparently you can get to it in one day. So,
which is weird because if you're from the South and you know how the distance, it's different from somebody that's like from Europe who thinks literally everything is an hour away.
What if you go to Beaumont? When you're leaving Beaumont, there's a sign that says El Paso 670 miles, and that's when you go, wow, that's and that's all in one state,
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That's a long way. There's Steve saying, wow, Dragon Magazine takes me back, way back. Were you a Dragon Magazine guy?
I wasn't a Dragon Magazine person, but I mean, it's been around. I used to play like Cyberpunk and D&D and all that whenever I was growing up. I'm trying to think, what was the thing that like you would check? Is it Dragon that you would check for like Magic the Gathering card?
That's the Duelist.
Was that Duelist?
The Duelist.
Something else. Okay, I don't.
At least that's the one. That's the one I had.
Wizard or something like that. I can't even remember what it was. But So I mean, I've been around that stuff. I never picked up Dragon. But that's just because all I wanted to do was make up my own stuff. I was like, all the supplemental material was like kind of supplemental for me.
Well, I've got a couple of games to talk to you about. You've got a couple here that you mentioned as liking. And let me see if I can throw it up on the screen and see if you recognize one of these. How about this? You said that Speakeasy Blues, is that right, TC?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, we were talking about best of Gen Con. You gotta go with Speakeasy Blues and Spell Smashers. Speakeasy Blues.
Am I right? You did some development work. This BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got TC Petty here, TC Petty III, who I think did some development work for Spell Smashers. Is that right?
That's true. And
tell us about the game.
I'll do the one that's up right now. But I just got you confused. So Speakeasy Blues up on the screen. It's a game about 1920s speakeasies during Prohibition era. Now jazz is coming to the forefront, and you're going around trying to make the best speakeasy in like a fictional, not fictional, but like New York City. Like New York City in the 1920s, right? And so you run your speakeasy. You can have criminals and cops in your speakeasy. You can have well-known celebrities from the era. You can start building a collection of like fine art and movies and all these things that happen from that time period, and start putting them up on the walls in your speakeasy. But basically, like from a standpoint of like gameplay, it's 45 to 60 minute game for like four players. It legitimately, I hadn't played it for like 6 months until the production copy came out. We played it at Gen Con, and 45 minutes, like straight up, like 45 minutes. I was super happy because getting development, any game to get to the actual time it says on the box is pretty good. So in the game, though, it's sort of a dice drafting system. There's going to be some dice that you seed the board with at the beginning, and then you'll have a pool off to the side. And on your turn, you're going to remove 2 dice from the board that are the same color, and then roll them and add them to the pool, and then place 2 dice of the same color onto the board. And each of those spots on the board has a different action or action type. So there's 6 different action spots on the board. So you can like add to your collection. You can pick up celebrities and put them into your speakeasy, cops, criminals. You can do favors. You can do favors for the cops and the underworld and the mob and stuff. Maybe there's a little bit more theme in there than needs to be, but like you can do those favors. And really at the end of the game, it's the person that has a combination of the best rep, the best collection of cool things, and in some cases, maybe even the most gangster favors that you've pulled off during the course of the game.
So the theme really comes out there.
Yeah. I mean, each part of it feels like it. I mean, from a standpoint of like gameplay, though, it's pretty easy to understand, and I think the theme just helps it like move along. But it's definitely there if you want to go deep into there, and each of those cards is like super cool and individual.
Where do you put it on the weight category? I have a lot of people from the Gateway and Filler Games group that like to watch the show. Well, where do you put it on that weight category? A little bit more than a Gateway game, I'm sure.
A little bit more than a Gateway game is perfect.
Okay.
Right?
Gateway
like
plus.
this is like your second game that you would play, right? Like it's easy to understand. There's a little bit of like player interaction where you can like, I can take this from you, or I can do use the criminals, or protect myself with cops. But other than that, like you pretty much are making a decision between 3 different colors and 2 different dice every turn, and you do that 10 times and the game's over. So I really can't say that it's too in depth. But
so I had Steph Hodge from BGG on a couple of weeks ago. She mentioned this as one of her favorite games of a Gen Con. She really enjoyed
it.
That was cool. But we did, and you know what I'm going to talk about. We did have to talk about that cover art.
Well, here's the thing. Now, there are people out there that do not like smoking at all when it comes to cover art. Is that, I'm assuming that's what it's about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so my thing is this, though. Like, 1920s, this is period perfect.
True.
And I'm not talking about like, oh, this is historically accurate. I'm talking about this is freedom for women's first time that women are seeing the opportunity to do these things. And that smoking represents just a release,
liberation,
the way to feel liberated in public. This could not have happened 10 years before that, right? It would not have happened.
Good point.
And so, as much as I do understand some people just do not like the idea of it because it kind of makes it look maybe cool, I hope that gamers can look at it and go, okay, I recognize that I don't like smoking, but I can still see this as a good product of its time and represents like that. I hope, at least, right? But there was a lot of talk, and there was a lot of talk for and against it whenever we were developing the game, and for me, I knew it represents so much for me that maybe I can even take some responsibility for having that happen. But if you don't like it, I mean, that sucks. But at the same time, like, hopefully you'll understand where my position is. And
it's actually a game that I had on my list to play. So I'm going to try to get to it at BGG Con. So, and there's Chris Jane checking in. He says, hey, you can't have film noir without smoking.
I guess that's true. Okay. But at the same time, I don't think it's trying to specifically be noir, right? Because I don't think you need the smoking anymore. It's an old thing. But yeah, product of the time. I love it.
Thumbs up. All right. BJ from Board Game Gumbo here. I've got my guest, TC Petty, Puppy Shogun himself. TC Petty III is going to talk about a game that I have not played, but I'm hearing everybody talk about it. And it's called Spell Smashers. And again, that's one that you had some development work. Is that right?
Yeah, that's why I brought these two up, because at least I know a little bit behind the scenes on them, right? So Spell Smashers is a word game. So when I say word game, I mean, in this case, you are taking letters and actually building words. So sort of like Scrabble or Bananagrams, that kind of thing. But it takes it into the dungeon crawl. And you're not going to be fighting not fighting in a dungeon, but you'll have almost like the Japanese RPG lineup of monsters.
Okay.
Each player is going to use their character and the letters that they have in their hand to form a word and then attack those monsters with the word. And so, like, each letter has a little number in the corner that tells you how much damage it'll do, and each enemy has a certain amount of coins that you place on them. And it's cool because it's based on the actual name of the monster. So like dragon would have like 6 coins, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So like the length of the word is equal to
that. I like that.
So it's just easy to understand. And then each monster will have like an adjective too. So that'll boost them a little bit. So it might be the cautious dragon or something like that. And then you would just add those two together. It tells you on the card. You don't really have to do addition, but and then you just put those coins there. The whole point of the game is to take out monsters because you get coins for taking their life down, which you can then spend in a town phase. And that lets you buy gear, which helps you make better words. It can sometimes when you attack monsters, they'll deal you wounds, which are new cards that have multiple letters on them. And you're going to have to get rid of those in your hand. So they're kind of like a detriment, kind of a positive. It's kind of cool though. But like you're building up your own dungeon delving character over the course of the game, just using words, right? It's fun. So
a cool twist on the mechanic of actually fighting the monsters, going into the dungeon, but a little bit of really a word game at its heart, right?
Yep, exactly.
And that's Renegade. You're going to be doing a lot of work for Renegade from what I hear on the State of Games.
Yeah, in the background, I've been doing game development and everything for Renegade games. So at least I'm familiar with what's coming out, or at least most of it. And it's been awesome. So it's just I just look at Spell Smashers as the very first one that I was working on with a designer, and that has actually come out. And I guess it'll be available for full retail release after Essen, which is coming up this month.
Yeah, that's right. TC, if you had to pick one, would you be a game designer or a game developer? Which one do you enjoy more?
Designer for sure. I don't want to have to deal with other design divas. Like I'm enough of a diva. Right. Like all this development stuff. It's not even just designer divas. It's like artist divas, graphic designer divas, rule writer divas. Like
this is TC Petty's world, and we're all living in it. That's the way you want it to be, right?
That's right. So just come to me. I'll design you a game, and then we get. I don't have to deal with all the other stuff. But it's still fun. It's still fun.
And that is Spell Smashers from Renegade, which is an Essen release. At least should be available for retail. Is that right?
Yep.
That is interesting. All right, BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest TC Petty the third, Puppy Shogun himself. There's a couple of more games I want to talk to you about. One that I've actually I'm trying to get from Game Nerds, but it's just not in stock. Our friends Game Nerds in Dallas, great prices. They got a great service, but if the game's not in stock yet, it's tough to get. And that's one I could not get at Gen Con. Gizmos from Simon. Phil Walker Harding game. You've played it and you like it? No?
I do. No. I do like Gizmos, right? And I think maybe in the past I've talked about it as like kind of like middling review, but I think that's how I feel. Like I've played Splendor, which I can kind of use as an example off to the side. So Splendor is a game that has been out for a few years now.
Sure.
And that one is very straightforward. You have a gem color, and you're going to buy new gem colors with those gems. And as you do that, you get a tableau of cards that'll help you buy more gems.
Sure.
Whereas Gizmos is kind of the same idea. You want to buy more of these colored marbles. The cool thing about Gizmos is the colored marbles come out of this like almost candy like machine that you have to build. And you can see off to the side there.
I've thrown it up there on the screen. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see the little. It's little, but like you can see up in the corner, there is actually like almost like a gumball machine kind of device, and you build that before you start your first game. And what's cool about it is not only that presence, but it also gives you an array of 6 different marbles that you can pick from and add to your little supply, which is a ring, so they don't roll off the table. I really like that part. I think the difference between this and some another engine building game like Splendor is that instead of just going, now I have a red one, I can buy this other red thing. It's like, no, it's more, I buy this card so that I can do a combo later, so that whenever I take this other action, it will allow me to draw another gumball from the machine, which will allow me to do this, which will allow me to do that. So you create this combination of things, which I like, but it's not as straightforward. So for people that are like getting into it, I'd recommend like a Splendor type of game. This one is sort of like just above Gateway, just kind of like the Speakeasy Blues. I find it fun, but man, some of that simplicity is lost. Sometimes you feel out of control because you don't know what's going to happen, because you have so many different things that trigger off of other things.
But TC, when you pull off those combos, even if it's not for a win, I mean, it's the greatest feeling. There's a Dominion game that I played, and I was just getting killed by 2 guys who are Dominion sharks. Don't ever play with them. They're fantastic. And all of a sudden I figured out there's no way I can win, but you know what I could do? I could shoot the moon. And they're looking at me crazy, and I'm drawing all these cards, and I'm buying all these cards. And on my last turn, and I think I scored -6 points, so it wasn't a very good game. But on my last turn, I had a completely shuffled deck. I drew my 5 cards, and I played from those cards every single card in a deck about this size. I must have had 35 or 40 cards in that mini deck, and I played every single one of them. And I looked at the guys, and I said, "I win." I played the whole deck.
I played my whole deck.
So Gizmos has that feeling, right? I mean, I got to watch the North Shore guys. We have a lake here, Lake Pontchartrain near New Orleans, and some of the guys from North Shore, I meet them at Gen Con every year, and I watched them do the demo. And these guys were just having a blast. They weren't even focusing on winning. They were focusing on making these crazy combos where one card would lead to like 4 or 5 chained up.
Yep, and I think if you like that sort of combo action, this is going to be the game for you. That was the only caveat, was that I couldn't get a really, really cool combo going. You have other people trying to steal cards out from under you, that kind of thing, right? So not player interaction, but just there's an array of cards, and those are the cards that are available. And sometimes they just you want them to work so well, and sometimes they don't, or you have to do some weird thing to go around. But I still like the game, and I think playing it a second time, playing it a third time, I think you'll get a much more out of it.
And that is Gizmos from Simon. That's out there. BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest TC Petty III. Hey, we were talking about development versus designing games, and Chris Strain knows a little bit about that because he does a lot of the development work for Breaking Games. He says sometimes development feels like co-designing without the credit. So there's a lot more to development than just polishing up the chrome, right?
Oh yeah. And I mean, like that's that's what's been great about this year, is that I got an opportunity to just see that in action. And I don't know, I've been around with like Unpub and all these other things, and I've just been really into just helping people develop games, and it's great to just actually see it happen and get paid for it, which is super lucky. I don't know. It's really cool though. It's fun.
BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest TC Petty III. Hey, let's talk about a game that I have trouble pronouncing. I've heard it said a million different ways on podcasts. I'm going to attempt Scarabia. It's by Bruno Cathala, Bruno Cathala is one of my favorite designers. I have not tried this yet, though. I didn't actually see it anywhere at Gen Con. It may have been there. I just never got a chance to see it or demo it. But you've played Scarabia?
Yeah, I just put these on the list because I was like, well, these are things I played.
That's
so
what
this
I want
is
to hear.
good.
Yeah, but is this a voodoo game to avoid, or is this a game that you say I like?
This one's a like. This one's a good one. Like, it's real straightforward. It's going to take 10 minutes to play. So this is definitely for the group that wants a gateway game. This is it, right? And
another so similar playing time and weight to King Domino, right?
Yes. However Bruno Cathala wants to say it, he can say it.
You heard how I said
even
it.
Though it's,
like
no, I know. And even though it's King Domino. Anyway,
King Domino.
King Domino.
I like the way he says it.
Scarabia.
Is that how he says it?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him for a while, so I didn't see him I didn't see him at Gen Con. That's terrible. That's terrible of me. Anyway, so I don't know, Scarabia. It's a polyomino game, which is the new rage, and that's where, if you've played Tetris,
it's the new Vikings.
yeah. It's the new thing. So if you've played Tetris, you kind of understand. There's these little pieces that are connected. They're like longer tiles with multiple tiles in them. These use, I think, pentominoes. Like they have five or six things. Yeah. And the idea of the game is that you want to, everyone is going to get a board that is set up the same way with some little mountains in the way. And then it's just a grid with all these scarabs on it. And then you're going to flip over one card in the middle of the table, and everyone is going to have to place that type of piece onto their board. And the first one has to be placed in this middle, in this specific spot. But after that, then people just have to place so it's connected to the original piece. And the goal of the game is to there are these little scarabs on the grid, and the goal is to surround them. It's hard to explain without a thing in front of me, but like surround them so that there's anywhere from that tile fully surrounded to 4 tiles fully surrounded.
Okay.
If that makes so, if you can surround a square and there's a scarab in there, it's worth 1, 2, 3, 4 points, right? It's worth the amount of stuff. So the ideal thing to do would be to get as many scarabs as you can in a 4-spot corral. Because you get 4 points for each of those scarabs. And so you're playing over the whole board. You play 10 cards, which plays all your 10 polyominoes onto your board. And then at the end, you score. And the sides of the board, the mountains, all of that counts as part of your surrounding these scarabs. Really easy to see in play, hard to explain. But like when you play it, you'll get it, and then you'll see the scoring, and then you'll want to play it again. And then I've seen people play this at Gen Con 15 times, something like that, right? Because you just want to play it again, see if you can get a better score each time.
Well, SOR has a question for you, TC. Gameplay of Scarabia looks very good for puzzly tiling. However, he's heard some questions about the component board quality. What do you say?
That's what I say. No, so I understand where that's coming from, right? There's now the polyominoes are good, at least from what I played. Whatever set I played on, polyominoes all fit and interlocked pretty nicely. But the thing I think that he's talking about is the boards are kind of, you build this outside ring for each player, and then each of the 4 boards has 4 mountains that kind of hold it all together.
Okay.
Right? But since there's no they don't connect in any way, they kind of can move and shift as you're playing. They don't fit in really nicely. Now, it's good that they don't fit in perfectly, but it's bad that they're just loosey-goosey. So there's a potential that you could mess it up. I really don't think so, though. I mean, and for the amount of time that it takes, it's pretty good. I would say the only thing to worry about is the at the very beginning, when you're setting things up, you have to actually and he's now saying the pieces are good, but some say the board is a little wobbly fit, and that's exactly what I've been saying. Yeah, so it's wobbly, right? The pieces are nice, but it just moves around a bit. I didn't have any problems with it, right? And I think maybe they could have spent a little more time making sure that it worked better. But for me, just already knowing how to play or having played and having a good time, I don't know. It worked.
I'm a little surprised, only because of this. Blue Orange Games, one of the things that I love about Blue Orange as the company is their production quality is pretty high. New York 1901, fantastic production. Even the King Domino or King Domino pieces, I mean, all of those, you look at the game and it's like, wow, I see where I'm getting my money's worth for it. So, I'm glad that sounds like one that's probably a try for me before I buy. But I loved King Domino, and I love any kind of tiling games at all. So it sounds like a good fit for me.
It's completely abstract though. So if you're looking for a thematic adventure to find scarabs, you're not. That's not what this is.
We're not going to get that. BJ from Board Game Gumbo here. I've got my guest TC Petty III, Puppy Shogun. TC, we have something in common.
Yes.
We, at least as for what I can tell on the state of games, besides being board gamers, I am fascinated. I don't own them all, but I'm always fascinated. I want to try any game that has a city in it. If it's got the name of a city, like Ulm, I am going to seek it out. I'm going to play it, and I'm probably going to buy it. And from everything I know about you, you're the same way.
Well, so maybe it's not because I am that way. It's more that all the games that I've played have been just, they're good and they have a name of a city in them, right? So if I see it, I'm just oh, well, that game's going to be good. Oh, knocking things over.
Speaking of good, at least I hope this is a great segue. I've got up there, if you don't mind, I went to your Twitter page and I found a picture of this game I've been hearing about. And you posted it on social media, so I'm assuming this is fair game.
Yeah, everything's fair game.
Okay, good. So it looks like a picture of Ez, and you and Chris have joked around a lot about it on the State of Games podcast. But now this is the first time I'm seeing it in public. Is this going to be one of those great city games in the TC Petty trilogy of great city games?
Well, that's the goal, right? Is to make the trilogy of city building awesome games, right?
So tell us about Ez. What's the story on Ez?
Well, Ez, it's cool because like I've been working on these, like it's sort of just jokingly, right? Like I was like, well, I'm gonna find some hard to pronounce cities. Now this one doesn't sound too hard to pronounce, but if you just look at the word, you're like, I don't exactly know if I'm saying this right, which is perfect. Right. That's all I care about. So in Ez, it's like 1860s. The railroad is first gotten down to the French Riviera. And now at that time period, like pretty much all these like diplomats and middle class affluent individuals from like England all started coming down to the French Riviera, and by word of mouth, more and more people showed up. And so like while it started off as like people just being really sick and coming down to get fresh air, which actually made them unsick reasonably because they didn't have to live during like the winter time, right? They'd come down during the winter and they'd feel better, and they'd come back and say, hey, I feel better for some reason because I wasn't, dying of sickness in a really like cold area. So at this time period,
that North Shore area I was talking about earlier, that's exactly how it got started. People from New Orleans needed to get out of the city. Every time there was some kind of plague or something going on, they would go to the North Shore for the fresh air and fresh water. So that's how the city of Ez developed?
Yeah, so it's the same thing. And Ez was sort of like this medieval like village on a hillside. And it had kind of gone into disrepair at this point. And over the next, when that started to happen, they had more money all of a sudden, and people were visiting. And so as they saw that, they started creating a tourist village.
Okay.
Right. So this was like a tourist destination they built up and created this sort of medieval restored village. So in this game, instead of like building the city, you are restoring the city to its like medieval thing, but also making a tourist attraction. Right. So this is sort of a game like, I mean, there's other places along the French Riviera like Monaco and stuff that are more like well known, but it's nice to have one that's like so specific, right? So the cool part about it is that you get to well, hey, we're gonna have live stuff here. Hold on one second. Yeah,
we got a scoop. Hey, Steve, we got a scoop, man.
No. I have to let out. So I live in an apartment upstairs. Okay. I have to let out this dog. So hold on one sec. Live.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, you take
the weird things about live.
BJ from Board Game Gumbo here. Stick around. We're talking to TC Petty III. Hey, there's David Miller checking in. What's up, David? Oh, good to see you checking in, man. Looking at your picture there sideways. Nice to see you, David. Some of those Alexandria guys came in for the Louisiana Comic-Con. I didn't get to go on Saturday, but got to see. I was just talking to some of the viewers there in the chat. So,
yeah.
So we're back with TC Petty. He's talking to us about Ez, the city on the Riviera.
Yeah, so, and that's great. I mean, it's a French Riviera city. In the game, though, it's cool because, I mean, they were fishermen at the time, and so you're a fisherman. And you're going to start making investments into the town by using, I don't know, the way that you tuna. I've started doing a lot of thematic things. So the way that you tuna fish is you go out in boats and you use nets and just scoop up the tuna fish. Right. So, I mean, there's videos on YouTube that you can watch of people like actually tuna fishing. And in the Mediterranean, this is a good place for tuna. And so this was a good place for Ez. They did tuna. So you're going to create enclosures with nets to pick up tuna. And that's going to fuel restoring some of these buildings. So each of the buildings have like costs. And if you look at the board, which is over there, you can kind of see each player has their own color of building that goes onto the board. And as it's a little tough to see in that picture, but like you can see, but as you take actions from sort of a main section in the middle of the board, you're going to move these little tourist tokens through the town. One's for the fishing action, which is pêche in French.
Sure.
And then One's for the restoration action, which is putting these buildings down, and then another one is for the visitor action, which is actually like people like Queen Elizabeth, some Russian celebrities, Russian dignitaries, infirm people, and they'll build villas around the town if you can get them to move there. But as you take those actions, those tokens are going to move through the city from spot to spot. And when you have a building on one of those spots where it lands, you get to activate it, even if it's not your turn. So by me taking an action, you might get fueled with like other actions from all the buildings that you've built in the town. So positive positive player interaction, but also an interconnected economy, so that every action that I take is good for me because I kind of want to land it someplace. But if you're on that spot with me, hey, you get stuff too. So I really like that stuff.
Steve says his daughter actually visited described it as a climb the mountain, turn the corner, see what new thing is there, surprise shops, garden of exotic plants. Sounds like one of those little European villages where there's little tiny streets, and around every corner there's a unique surprise or a unique shop or a unique experience.
Exactly. And I think that's what I'm trying to capture here, that like we're just setting up these little things, trying to make it look like a medieval town, but it's not a big thing. We're not changing the world here. This is like making this new town the best. So I really like these types of games.
The other one that you mentioned, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, talking to my guest TC Petty III. We're talking about hard to pronounce European villages or cities that don't have a game yet. But here's one that you're really hoping, maybe the next one, the very first one in the TC Petty Great Cities trilogy, Maastricht. Is that right? Am I saying it right? Maastricht?
There's like 3 different ways to pronounce it, which is great. So I say Maastricht because that's kind of like the like using the ch at the end, because that's kind of like the local pronunciation. Okay. They have their own dialect as well. And but I think most people will know it as Maastricht. Okay. Right. And they signed the original UN treaty there. I think that's their claim to fame kind of thing. But from a standpoint of what I'm doing, like the game takes place in the 17th century and during siege warfare times. And in the game, we are involved in the sieges of Maastricht, but we're not actively like fighting them, right? We can provide assistance and provide arms and all that stuff. But what's fun about it is that Maastricht was a town that sort of changed. Like it was a really nice fortified city that everybody wanted because it was on the border of Germany, Belgium, France, like Switzerland, like everything was all right beside it. And so everybody wanted it. And so it changed hands like in the course of like 100 years, which you'll be playing over. It changed hands like 3 or 4 times. And so that's mimicked in the gameplay. There'll be sieges, and most of the time you'll just want the new country to come in and take over. And it doesn't really change the gameplay, but it allows you to trade with new trading partners, allows you to have allegiances to these different countries that come in and out during the course of the game. And so you can kind of manipulate that during the game. The cool part about
typical game has ages or eons or whatever the different names are, but yours is based on countries actually coming in and taking over that area.
Exactly.
And each one is different based on the theme of how that country took over.
Yeah, or at least what they're, what would now open up because of your trading partners, right? Okay. So if Spain takes over, well, now France and the Dutch, which now it's a Dutch city, but France and the Dutch would be your new trading partners, and they would have different things that you could do. If Spain leaves, then at the end of the season, or you might have the French in, and now Spanish comes in with their marble and they want to trade, and so it's kind of cool and dynamic that way. And the players collectively control who takes over. So you are collectively defending Maastricht or allowing them to come in. So that's like sort of this weird communication thing that's on top of this Euro game. But the cool thing about the game is it's like each player has their own player board that is actually a map of subterranean Maastricht. because for some reason
we can see it in that picture, right? That's each of these little 4 boards around the big board.
I can't see this picture for some reason, but
all right, sorry about that. It's a picture of you guys at maybe PressCon playing on a long white table with the big board in the middle, and then each player has their own unique board.
Yeah, and your own unique board is like the subterranean map underneath your section of the city.
Okay.
Because another weird thing they did was they mined limestone out from underneath the city in certain parts, causing tunnel systems to be created around the area, right? And so now during the game, you're going to actually mine for limestone, which is what you use to build buildings. Limestone and marl, the most amazing. Yeah, marl, the most amazing resource ever. But anyway, so limestone and marl, but you'll be mining these things, but as you make your subterranean map, you're actually connecting to exit points, which are the buildings on top of the city.
Okay.
So what's cool is that when someone builds a building in your area to try to gain points for sort of area control or region majority, you actually put a little token on your board, your subterranean board, and if you can connect to it, then you score points, you get a little bonus, right? So actively trying to win the game causes other players to gain little bonuses, which causes that.
Interaction.
More positive play. Everything is interweaved, right? So it's great.
Hey, there's Kirk checking in. I really like the theme. He's one of the guys from that Gateway and Filler Games group I was telling you about. I really like the theme and gameplay of Ez because I love to travel. I've seen a few tourism games, but they have focused more on the selfie style of travel. That's where yours is different. It's not the touring the national parks, and I like that game. I'm not down in that game. I'm just saying that yours is more about the history and the development of each city, and the mechanisms in the game all seem to be tied to the history research you've done.
Yeah, so it's sort of trying to make it so that those I like to start with a boring, like I've always said it, like boring games like fuel really interesting like interactions, right? So the theme, just pulling what you can out of these themes creates like their own, like I don't even know why these things work or they interact so well, but they just they do. They should. They have no right to work as well as they do or be as exciting. When you place a building and you go, oh my God, I get this thing, and then you move a token onto it and it activates again, you just feel like, oh man, my brain is blown. I just did this amazing combo. But you're really just kind of building this city that you've never heard of before. Or at least some people have traveled. I get a lot of these stories that people have traveled. But what I do like is that, like, to Kirk's comment, like, I've played games where it's kind of like Hotel Samoa is a good example. Like, it's kind of efficiency puzzle, but it's all about like which tourists are coming in from what countries and putting those countries together. Or like you said, selfies, going around and trying to collect the most portraits or something like that.
The Costa Rica, mechanic, going around and just taking pictures,
Exactly. And that's fine, but it's also not, it doesn't represent anything. It's just sort of, it could have been anywhere. I could have been doing anything.
And that is Mystery. So any chance we're going to see this thing in actual production form sometime?
Well, I don't want to push anybody, but like I've got all the handshakes from Gen Con. We're finishing up contracts for Maastricht. Ez is still a free agent. If anybody's looking for a game that's in the French Riviera that wants, you want a nice medium weight Euro game, it's there. And yeah, I want to see all these games. So hopefully that'll be like the first two, and then the trilogy will be completed in the next few years. That'll be
Love
great.
It. The trilogy. BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest TC Petty III. We've been talking about a lot of different games, and one of the things we love to do on the Jambalaya on the game show here on the show on Board Game Gumbo Live is play a game with a guest. TC Petty, do you like games?
Well, kinda.
A little bit. So somebody told me that you were. I do a little show prep, and somebody told me you like the Beatles. So we play a game called the Jambalaya Game. And in the Jambalaya Game, it's a board game mashup. What we do is we take a particular topic and we try to mash it up with board games. And Steve O'Rourke, the name father, who is a diabolical evil genius, comes up with all these mashups and with the clues, and we work together all week to get ready. I'll give you an example. So if I gave you the clue of famous brewery at Gen Con who might move to a new Abbey Road location. You might say Sun King Brewery.
Okay.
Sun
Okay.
King
Yeah.
Brewery,
Sun
right?
King Brewery. Yeah.
So we got Sun King the song, Sun King Brewery, that kind of thing. So, and don't worry, we're not throwing you out to the wolves. The people, the chat, the room, they love playing this game. And there's Chris Strain going, all right, the Jambalaya game. So they will help you along the way. But what do you think, TC? Are you ready for that?
Sure, I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right, so let's throw one out here. Let's get a good one here. Hey, TC, can Paul McCartney send a romantic note to his favorite princess without getting caught? There's your clue.
That's my clue. Can Paul McCartney send a romantic note
to his favorite princess without getting caught? What game is that? What are we talking about? What's the Beatles song mashup with a board game?
See, all right. So now I know. So I know the name of the board game.
Oh, you got it already?
Yeah. But I have to actually think of what Beatles song fits with that, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, hey, throw the name of the game out there in the chat room.
Yeah. Maybe the chat will help out. So it's a love letter, right?
Love letter's a good guess. You're right on it. So what Beatles song that Paul McCartney wrote? Can Paul send a romantic note to his favorite princess without getting caught? What could that be, TC?
Oh God! Wow.
But there's so close.
Okay.
No, that's not it.
No, that's not it. Oh,
that's not it. And Jason, you're right.
There's so many.
That is a great one. There's a million of them.
It could just be a love letter.
Jason's got the game right, but what's the song that we're thinking of?
Oh, jeez.
And you know what? Now that I think about it, I could have tweaked this clue a little bit better because he's right. Actually, Chris is better.
All you need is love letter is better.
You know, Steve. Can I have a ruling from the judge? I think Chris Strain should have been right because I came up with "Can't Buy Me Love" letter.
Ah, jeez.
But that doesn't fit as well as Chris Strain's, don't you think, TC?
No, I think. Love letter me do. That's good too. So yeah, there's so many songs with love in them. I'm like blanking on them, but whatever.
Oh, okay. All right. So how about another one here? Yeah, Chris. I'm going to give you that one, Chris, because I think yours is better than my actual clue. Here's one. This is a better one. Speaking of French towns, right? Let's see if I got it right. Baby, you can tour my vehicle all around this little town in France. Just don't hit the wall.
Tour my vehicle. Okay, so we got the song.
Ask my meeple what she wanted to be.
Yeah, we got the song part.
And then we'll see a monk, a farmer, a robber, or knight. Think it over, then brace for a fight.
Jeez.
This is ridiculous. Yeah, Chris,
I guess it's. Wait, is it "Baby You Can Drive My Carcassonne"?
Oh, he's got it. He's got it.
All right. Okay. Cool. I'm glad it's that.
Wow, that was a good one, TC. Fantastic, man. That was a tough one, though, huh?
See, I had the song, and I was like, "What is he talking about? He hit the wall." It's like it's some driving game that I've never played.
All right, let me throw one up here for you. One of Uwe's toughest games. It's a wistful, sad look at a 700-year Bavarian tradition, but with Paul at the piano. One of Uwe's toughest games. It's a wistful,
sad look at what?
At a 700-year-old Bavarian tradition, with Paul at the piano. Chris said, that's Jambalaya Game.
Okay, so that's The Long and Winding Glass Road.
Oh my God, Steve, he's a genius at this game. You know, chat room, I'm telling you, you guys better bring it because TC Petty has got it on tonight. Wow.
All right. So I think that was a good warm up.
That was a pretty good clip, huh?
Yeah, no, that was good. That was good. Now my brain is actually getting these Beatles songs in the right position.
All right, here's your next one.
I'm ready.
You know I love deck building. I'll always be true to deck building. So please.
Love
your
me
clue.
Dominion.
Oh, that was an easy one. Yeah. Yeah. And Steve, in all fairness, Steve did not like that one because he says that's Love Me Dominion, and that's not the name of the game. So.
Yeah. And it could be, that was also love letter me do.
Steve, we're gonna have to go to the second page because he's killing us on the easy ones. Man, he's all over these. All right, let me
all those songs with the word love in them.
Yeah, those are pretty easy. Okay, TC, if you think Happy Salmon is a silly game, wait till you play this John Lennon classic. Just remember, bring a piano to your next game night.
Wait. Oh, crap. Now I'm thinking of John Lennon songs, not Beatles songs. I was like, Happy Salmons, Happy Christmas, war is over. So,
yeah.
All right, do it one more time. More time for me and for the chat.
I will, but I got to give you some love. The chat room is just loving how quick you are in these games. Okay, so if you think Happy Salmon is a silly game, TC, wait till you play this John Lennon classic. Just remember, bring a piano to your next game night. And if you're struggling or the chat room is having trouble, Steve's got an extra clue for you, and I can throw it out to you. You just let me know.
Bring a piano to your next game night.
Yep.
If you something fishing. All right, happy fishing. So Happy Salmon, but
if you think that one's silly, wait till you sing this classic. I'll give you a hint. It's the only hint you're going to get.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris, this one is tough. That's right. This one's a little tougher. Here's your hint. Take a long word and make it better.
Okay, so that's the song.
So you got the song.
Wow.
What game is that?
Happy Salmon. If you like Happy Salmon, but you want to mix it with Hey Jude.
you got it. You just gotta figure out what's the game.
I guess Hey That's My Fish, Jude.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my Jude fish.
Not quite. You know, the clue in this one is Happy Salmon.
Right.
That's the focus in this clue. It's Happy Salmon. I'll give you a hint because I'm nicer than Steve. No, not Hey Salmon. That's a good guess though. Chris is getting closer. So North Shore's got a game. North Star Games had a game out of Gen Con that everybody was playing. Silly like Happy Salmon.
Oh, was it the sequel? The sequel to Happy Salmon.
It's the sequel.
Oh, jeez. Wow. I got to go deeper. Two edges here. So we got a Hey Jude and we got, Hey Dude.
Hey Dude. He's got it.
Hey Dude. Jeez.
And that was Steve's clue. Take a lone word and make it better. Not bad at all. I'll tell you, PC, man, you are on fire. All right. So pick really hard or easy hard. What do you want?
Well, that one felt hard. Let's do a really hard. Now that my brain is back into the Beatles.
All right, I put this one together. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know that Steve actually approved of this one, so I'm going to sneak this one in. Let me see if I can get this one in here. All right, so it's not a game title per se, but it's something Norsemen would say while trading resources in Catan and listening to a John Lennon tune from Rubber Soul. What game would that be? It's not a game title, so don't think a board game title. But what would the Norsemen, what would a Viking say while trading resources in Catan and listening to a Lennon tune from Rubber Soul?
All right, so Lennon tunes. I think Paul is Michelle My Belle. I think
the clue that you're looking for. There's two clues in that clue that I gave you. Norwegian and Catan.
Yeah.
Norwegian and Catan.
Yeah, if I can. I start with the song.
Yeah.
So, Catan.
Something Norsemen would say while trading resources in Catan.
So what would they say while trading resources in Catan? Because it's already so we got Norwegian.
Oh, Chris Strain is close. Norwegian Catan, close. But Chris, would they really say that? What would they say?
Norwegian.
I bet TC told this joke before.
Norwegian. I guess it's Norwegian wood for sheep.
Oh, oh my god. He is killing this.
I don't think Vikings would say that though.
Okay, I was probably stretching it there, TC. Oh my god, you're killing this game. Wow. Look, the record on this show is 3 guesses by the guest, and you are just killing it. So I'm telling you.
Jeez. Well, okay. Well, wow. Okay.
Yeah, you're way ahead.
I feel like I'm doing terribly too.
Oh, okay, we're gonna have to throw something tough here, man. Little darling, it's been a long negotiation. Little darling, the honor of your clan's at stake. Are you having a bad day while traveling in Japan? Little darling, it's all right. It's all right.
Jeez. Well, that one's easy because you sang it.
Well, it's part
Here
of
comes the rising sun.
Oh, okay. So you got that one. Yeah, I figured you'd get that one.
I'm ruining it for the chat there, so
yeah, you know what? You're going to get this next one because, look, there's Chris Jane checking in. He says, here comes the rising of the sun. That's right. Here comes the rising sun. All right. So the singing ones, he's knocking every one of them out of the park, Steven. He is knocking them out there. I can't sing this one, though. I can't remember the melody, so I'll just give it to you.
No, that's probably easier or harder.
I'd like to be in Battersea in a tile laying game that Uwe made. And I don't remember the melody for that.
All right.
One. You think
I do? But I always get the song first, and then I have to figure out what the thing is. So what are the actual words?
I'd like to
I'm singing the song in my head.
I'd like to be in Battersea in a tile laying game that Uwe made.
Uwe made. Okay, so it would be Octopus's Cottage Garden.
He's got it. Steve, and man, we spent like an hour the other day working on these things, and you were just knocking them out. Oh, I've got to look for it.
Just gonna make your work into 5 minutes.
All right, here we go. Here we go. A curious case to solve. Why did the medieval holy man cross the street without his shoes on? That's your clue, TC. Can you get that one?
Okay, a mysterious case. Well, say it again.
A curious case to solve. Why did the medieval holy man cross the street without his shoes on? I'll give you a hint. It's the mystery of Monks McCartney's missing shoes. What game is that? Monks McCartney's missing shoes.
Wow, this isn't even a song related. This is related to Paul is Dead.
It's about a song.
Oh, it is about a song. Okay. Well,
you know what? It may not be about a song. It could be anything about the Beatles. So let me not say it's a song.
Yeah.
It's something to do with the Beatles.
Okay. Curious case.
Get all the good lyric ones out. We're never going to come back to the Beatles. It's true. It's true. Oh, I've got one more lyric.
Okay. First things that came to mind were Maxwell's Silver Hammer. That was the first thing, was the case. Mm-hmm. Second thing was Paul is Dead. And I don't know how that's going to relate to what I'm thinking about.
Somebody got it. David Miller says.
Oh, he got it. Oh, he
Mystery of the Abbey Road. Nicely done, David.
All right. No, good. Good job.
Nicely done, David. All right, I got one more song to give you.
They beat me.
And I've been working like Sparky the stunt dog. That's it. That's all I got for you.
You know that and I've been working like so it's a a hard day's night, but,
But
dead
what's
of
the
winter.
Oh,
So it's dead of winter and hard day's night. So it's been a hard day's winter.
no, no,
It's
no.
been
Oh, I wonder if TC knows this game.
Sparky the one. It's been. Ooh, is that like the expansion for Dead of Winter? Jeez.
Do you know the name of it? Do you know the name of it?
that would be the problem. It's been a hard day's winter. It's been oh, there you go.
Chris Strain's got it.
I think Chris Strain's got it. It's been a long
Chris
day.
Strain's got it. That's right. Dead of Winter, the long, hard day's night. So Steve was kind of diabolical there.
Okay, so yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Steve just sent me a note. I forgot all about that.
That one.
He
All right,
thinks
so that one's a little tougher.
He thinks he can stump you with one. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Geez. Well, I don't know how hard that would be.
No, I mean you're killing them all. Let's see. Where is it, Steve? I'm looking for the one. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. Oh, I don't know the shoot. I don't know the melody
tune
on this one. Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
I'll read it out. Listen, ooh, ah, ooh. I'm not really a fascist. I don't know that tune. And I mean, I've thought I'll listen to every Beatles song, but
listen, ooh, ah, ooh. I'm really not a fascist.
That's the best I can do.
I got the game.
Oh, do you? Yeah, the game would probably be the easiest. Yeah.
Is there really an old Beatles song? Do you want to know a secret Hitler?
Yeah, that's it. Man, you are a Beatles fan. Yeah, you got that one. And
that one, I can't even remember that song. That one's a weird old song.
Not a stumper, but David Miller checking in right behind you, TC. Just 5 seconds. Yeah, and I remember the song. Do you want to know a secret? I just can't think of how the melody goes. Just sitting here.
Yeah, especially ooh-ah.
Well, I read it.
Ooh-ah.
Ooh, ah, ooh. Okay, so we're down to the last couple of ones. How about this one? Space Marines with a special Beatles weapon that goes bang bang.
Space Marines was a special Beatles weapon. So next, but God,
yeah, you're right on it.
Maxwell's Silver Hammer 40K. Silver Warhammer.
Silver Warhammer 40K. TC, this is going to go down in history. I don't think anyone's ever going to touch this. The closest person.
I already had that one in mind, right?
Oh, yeah, you had said it earlier. You know what? I might be able to stump you with this one. If George Harrison had a nightmare about an unknown terror in the Antarctic, what would it be?
Nightmare about so it makes me want to say as my guitar gently
you're gonna have to think of the game first, because if you try to get the melody, I think you're gonna stump yourself.
Okay, say it again then, one more time.
If George Harrison had a nightmare about an unknown terror in the Antarctic, what game would he be playing? What game would he be playing?
He's playing Mountains of Madness, I guess. But he could also be playing The Thing.
Be playing The Thing.
Could be playing The Thing. And George Harrison song, which is,
we
already did Sun. Here Comes the Sun.
Yes.
Oh man, what other George Harrisons we got?
Oh, did I miss that one? Oh, I sure did miss that one. Oh, I didn't even see that one.
Oh yeah, God, there it is. Chris said something in the way she moves.
Exactly. It's something at 31 or whatever. What is the name of the game?
Something
Infection at Outpost 31. Hey, I'm going to give Chris that one. close, but you didn't have it, right?
I didn't have it. But I was close. I couldn't get the sum part.
So Steve wants you to guess that last one there. Let's see. Zombies walking in the dead of night, armor spells and dragons in the sky. All your life, you were only waiting for this mashup to arrive.
You're only waiting. So this was stuck in my head. This was stuck in my head earlier when we were talking about stuff. So the song part is Blackbird, but what do we got? Zombies walking in the dead of night. Sky. Oh yeah. Spells dragons. What is Blackbird? What has a word black in it? Blackbird. Walking in the dead of zombies night. Black.
He's so close, Steve. So close.
Black. Dark. I want to say dark is not right. Blackbird. Black.
Any guesses out there in the chat? We have to give this one to Steve O'Rourke, man. I don't think you guys are there. You've got the song though. It is Blackbird. Zombies walking in the dead of night.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming up from the chat. Oh, he's giving you a hint there. David Miller's right around it. Adam Austin is right there. Come on, Adam. What is the song though? What's the game?
Plagueburg.
No, Chris, not that way. Adam and David right there.
We're almost there. The Black Plague Bird.
Now we're just brainstorming.
Yeah, now it's just like things out loud. Words, blackbird disease, black disease.
Chris
bird,
Strain's got it. Zombicide, blackbird plague. Oh, that's it. Good job, Chris. Man, hey, TC, Chris is catching up there. Chris is catching up.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Are you familiar with Glenn Drover?
The guy, yes.
Designer?
Yes.
How about a Glenn Drover game about growing businesses out in the frontiers land? But your friend Paul McCartney has a warning. Better read your Gideon's Bible if you want to beat your rival.
So we got... So, all right. So, oh man, to Glenn Gover's Age of Empires.
Better read your Gideon's Bible if you want to beat your rival.
Rocky Raccoon and Glenn Drover. There's two different Glenn Drover games that I know of. Glenn Drover
I'll give you a hint.
has.
It just came out. It just came out at Gen Con this year.
Oh, it just. Oh God. Oh, it's gonna. Now then I might be out of it.
Oh, you know what?
Was
you may
something
not have
that
seen
just came out, but I can't. Darn it. Yeah. Wow. Try to do it from context. Do it again. One more.
Yep. Sure.
What was the? Give the clue again.
Oh, Chris Strain's got it before you could get it. Rocky Raccoon Tycoon.
Yes, that's what it is. Oh man, that threw me off the Glenn Drover thing. I'm like off in Galactic and Age of Empires. Jeez.
All right, we got two left.
Raccoon Tycoon.
And I will tell you, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's pretty close between you and Chris Strain. So we got two left. Let's see who can knock them out of the park.
He's stealing songs.
Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry loves dice and spaceships. And so did one of Europe's greatest composers.
Dice and spaceships. So
I forgot about that one, Steve. So we got three left. I forgot about that one. I missed that one.
Is it Twist and Shout?
They did do. John Lennon sang Twist and Shout.
But I don't think that's what we're looking for.
That's not the game. That's not the song we're looking for. Chuck Berry loves dice and spaceships. And so did one of Europe's greatest composers. Oh, he's got it. Chris Strain put pressure. Oh, he's got it. Roll over, Beethoven
Wow.
for the galaxy.
Jeez.
All right, Steve reminded
Yep.
you of one. Let's get this one knocked out. An impromptu concert on a rooftop that ends with a very quiet encore of this ancient Sumerian dice and movement game.
Let it be Don't let me down
That would have been a good one, but no, you're going the wrong way on that one.
What song? No, I know. What song is it? No, it's not Let It Be. It's what's her name?
I'm trying to find the clue on here. Okay, there it is. All right, he's throwing you a big hint at the very start.
No, the song. I know.
An impromptu.
I know. That. Yes.
That ends with a very.
But it ends with a very quiet. Sumerian dice and movement game, right? It's though, right?
Ur's the city, but what's the name of the game?
Isn't that It's not
It's not
Okay, let's think about this though. The other. Why am I not getting the song? The song is right there.
He says TC's into it. He says you're close.
What is that stupid thing?
Man, Steve, do you remember who got Dead of Winter the Long Hard Day's Night? I don't remember. Who was it? I'm going to have to go back and check that. That one. Give you a chance to think about it there for a second while I scroll back on these comments. Let me see.
No, it's the song Her Majesty. No. I mean, I think the song is that Paul McCartney led song Get Back. Where? What am I looking for? I'm getting back. There we go. Get back.
It's a different ancient game, not but still played a lot to this day. You can buy this game at Target. You can buy it at Dollar General.
Yeah. Get back.
You're going too deep. Go surface.
Get tick back toe.
Close, but not Sumerian. That was Egyptian.
Yeah. Jeez. Get back cribbage. Get back.
Back.
Get something.
Get back.
Back.
Oh, come on, somebody out there. Adam's got it.
Go, Joe.
Get back, Gavin.
Get back, Gavin. Oh!
Nicely done.
Killing me. Every single game I can think of. I'm going, No, my answer's get back,
Yeah, yours was a good one. All right, last game of the night. Last clue of the night. Are you ready? Are you ready for the last one? Yes, Adam's got it. All right.
I am definitely ready, yeah.
And TC, this one's for you.
Okay.
John Lennon missed T.C. Petty III while recording in India so much that he wrote you this beautiful tribute to T.C.'s game about building towers.
John Lennon missed me so much.
You'd have to know the history behind this particular song. John Lennon missed T.C. Petty so much while recording in India that he wrote this beautiful tribute to T.C.'s game about building towers. You'd have to know a little bit of Beatles trivia for this one. That's why I saved it for last.
Yeah. I want to say within you and without Spires. It's wrong.
You got the game, of course. I mean, if you didn't get the game, I would be a little upset.
Yeah. All right. So Chad's game is Spires. For people that aren't familiar with me, so game is Spires. But the question is, he missed me so much, and he was in India.
He missed you so much that
and that's why
this beautiful
I'm
tribute.
thinking, why am I not getting a song in my head? Sometimes it's just like one of those things where you almost have to like find it, because Within You and Without You is the song I was looking for, but it's not right.
No, you wrote another song for Yoko or T.C. Petty. I mean,
Yeah.
What song did you write for Yoko while recording in India?
The Ballad of John and Spires.
No. Yep. Yeah. So I'm gonna go back through the list while TC's thinking. Steve, I'm gonna go back through the list. I may have missed a couple, huh? I'm gonna double check. Oh, yep. I found 2 more that I got. So we'll put the other ones out there. We'll go through those real quick. I think we got time for 2 more. Chris Strain says, "Nope, I am stumped." Hey, Chris, you've done well tonight, man. You hung tough. You hung tough. You know, this was actually a song I was not familiar with till I listened to the record. So it was just a deep cut on one of the albums that I just missed.
Yeah, I figured it's a.
I'm more of a greatest hits type of guy.
Yeah, no, I'm more of an album type of guy. But
all right, Chris.
Is there a hint like what is there a hint like what album it's on?
Yeah, you know what? Let me look. I want to say so. I want to say it's the second to last album that was actually released last, but I don't think that was one.
So
let me look real quick.
I mean, the answer to that question is nerdy, but
let me look.
So I assume it's either off White Album, Abbey Road, or Let It Be.
It's off of the Beatles, which is the White Album, right? The Beatles is the White Album, correct? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we got Julia. That's not right.
Yeah, it's off of the White Album. Off of the White Album. He missed Yoko Ono so much. Oh, if I give you this next
Obla Spires.
Yeah, that would be. That one doesn't go away. Man, if I give you this next hint, you're gonna get it right away. But I can give it to you if you want.
Wild Honey Spires.
All right. I'll give it to you. I'll give you the next hint. He wrote it because they hadn't started dating yet, and he couldn't sleep at all. Some people call it a follow-up to "I'm Only Sleeping" from the Revolver album.
I'm only dreaming Spires.
No, not that.
Is that no?
Nope. Glass Spires, I like that one, but that is not it. I wonder. I don't think I can. I wonder if I could play it for you.
I don't think that's the right one. That's off a Revolver. I'm in Revolver land. He wrote it because he couldn't sleep. He was too sleepy. No, because I can't. I've got that other song stuck in my head.
I'm so.
Oh wow! I'm so tired.
I'm so spired.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think.
Oh wow!
I don't think Steve liked that one much either. So I'm so spired. Well, I wanted to try to get Spires. Yeah, I know that's a thumbs down. I will take the booze.
Jeez,
I will happily take the booze. Yeah, but it was. I was. Yeah, Chris. The crowd is really getting on me. I don't think they like that a lot. I'm so inspired. Hey, so what about Frodo, Sam, and Mary need a new drummer after Pippin quits the band? That's not. I don't think this is a song
new
title.
Drummer. Photos after Pippin leaves the band.
David Miller says that was really reaching, BJ. Yeah, I guess it was reaching. I really wanted you try to fit Xenon Profiteer into one of the Beatles songs. You do that.
It's easy.
I could not.
You get the ticket to ride Xenon Profiteer.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so anyway, now I've lost what we were actually doing. What
Frodo,
clue
Sam,
again?
And Mary. Yeah, Frodo, Sam, and Mary need a new drummer after Pippin quits the band.
Frodo, Sam, and
That's
Mary
not a song title,
drummer
though,
after
Steve.
Pippin quits the band.
That is not a song title.
After it says Lord of the Rings.
Revolution number 9 would have been good.
Yeah.
What song would that? What board game would that have gone with? Revolution number 9. Oh, Revolution number 9. The number 9 game. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
Revolution
one,
number. Yeah,
man. Well, thank you, David. I appreciate the support. See, TC, he's not judging.
yeah.
Oh, Jason, you would have loved this. We've been doing board game mashups with Beatles songs. So we're killing. Yeah, you're right. I like number 9. That's a nice one. Revolution number 9 with that. So any
now we've got a Lord of the Rings reference with Pippin quitting the band.
Yep, Steve's right. It's any reference to the Beatles. It's not necessarily song titles. So, new drummer after Pippin quits the band. Who's that 5th Beatles? That
wasn't it like was Rose?
Well, no. I mean, who when they got a new drummer, who was the new drummer?
When they got a new drummer. Yeah. Well, okay. So we got Ringo. So what's the
Chris? It was a simple one. Chris Strain got it. War of the Ringo. All right, Steve. I think this is the last one. I can't find any more. I think this is the last one.
Last one. All right, I gotta get this one.
All right,
beat Chris.
And I wish I knew the melody because I would sing it for you. You know, chicken and tuna, felines at your feet. Wonder how you manage to make ends meet. All right, Jason. What Beatles song and board game is that a mashup? Help TC out. Chicken and tuna, felines at your feet. Wonder how you manage to make ends meet. I gotta listen to that one because I don't remember that one, man.
That I do. I'm just losing track of what the.
I'm gonna play it real quick, man.
Wonder how you manage to make ends meet.
Okay, why are they
wonder how you manage
the trailer? I don't want to see that. Oh, I know this song, TC. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, trying to like get the title for it in my head.
Children at your feet.
Yeah, wonder how you manage to make ends meet.
Yeah, you're actually singing the video. That's pretty good, TC.
Lady Madonna. Lady Madonna. Now, what's the rest of it?
Chicken and tuna, felines at your feet. Wonder how you managed to make ends meet. I got to turn this off in my ear. I can't hear TC.
TC.
I'll be honest. I don't know this game. So apparently this is a game that Steve O'Rourke knows, and maybe he's the only one. What game goes with Lady Madonna? I don't know.
Lady Madonna.
Yeah.
Fish, and you said fish.
Yep. We said fish and tuna and felines at your feet. Chicken and tuna, felines at your feet. Wonder how you manage to make ends meet. Okay, I don't know this game, Steve. This is one that I wouldn't have gotten. So Jason, yeah, you are a Zeppelin fan. So when you come on the show, Jason Dinger, we're gonna do Zeppelin songs. Any idea what this game does anybody know any kind of game that has chicken and tuna, felines at your feet?
I was like thinking hot tin roof.
Oh, Chris James got
there you go. Oh, it's just easy. It's just easy. I think too hard on these.
What is this game, Cat Lady? Chris. I don't know this.
Cat Lady Madonna. Cat Lady is the game.
I don't know it. That is one I do not know. TC, you and Chris Strain blew this game up. That was fantastic, man. Really, really. Yeah, Chris came on strong, man. I don't know. It was pretty close to a tie, but TC, you busted a lot of them. So early on in the game, you had a nice early lead. Congratulations. You have set the record for best performance in the Jambalaya game ever.
Man, yeah. I hope it's never beaten.
Oh, Chris Strain said he didn't play it, but he saw it at Gen Con, a card game called Cat Lady. Good clue. All right, board gamers, that's it for another episode of Gumbo Live. I want to thank my guest TC Petty for being such a great sport in playing the Jambalaya game and running through all those games that you really enjoyed. Hey, TC, how can they reach you? How can people talk to you out there in social media land?
Man, I feel like I didn't do as well as what I should, but as a Beatles fan, that was a fail. But still, hey everybody, I'm TC Petty III. My Twitter is @PuppyShogun. That's Shogun, not shot. Gun, so at Puppy Shogun. And you can also catch me on the State of Games podcast, which is available wherever you get your podcasts. And I also have the old Deep Design episodes. I used to do a show called Deep Design. It's about 10, 15-minute long game design deep dive into a subject that is going to be posted on the Game Designers of North Carolina podcast feed. So if you want to hit that up, I think they're up to episode 2. Probably episode 3 is coming out here soon. And then every 2 weeks, they'll be putting out a new episode. Again, it's only like 10, 15 minutes long. It's good if you like not game design 101. If you like being a nerdy game designer, it's a good thing to check out. So,
well,
yep.
I just
buy my games.
TC, you got 9 correct. It's a record I don't think anybody's ever going to break. So congratulations. You busted it up. Chris was right behind you, but you were right there, man. That is fantastic. Hey, everybody out there, make sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/BoardGameGumbo. It helps us get the word out about all of our upcoming guests and shows, including we've got Carla Kopp. I don't know, TC, if you've ever met Carla, but Carla is the head honcho over at Weird Giraffe Games, and she's publishing a game from Tony called Fire in the Library that's going to be coming out. So can't wait to talk to her. TC, I'm BJ from Board Game Gumbo, and until next time, Laissez, bon temps rouler. Say goodnight, TC.
Good night.